Hello everybody, Mr. Heeb here. I hope you're all doing wonderful. Today I'm going to talk about classes. I'm going to talk about them today, tomorrow, and then next week I'm going to make some optional videos for people who want to know more about classes, but we'll explain more of that next week. Today we're going to learn about what classes are. Classes are what Python use when they're building like bigger things, things with need a lot more structure. I think as I explain what classes are, it will make more sense onto some of the things that you've already learned in Python. All right, so here we are. We're going to start it off, and I'm going to start out with a class. Now, first off, when making a class, we say class, and then we're going to name something. Now, when we make classes, it's called object-oriented programming, and what the thing is that we make is called an object. It's not like a physical object, of course. It's it's a computer, but what it is it creates something, and then that thing we can assign attributes. We can assign things to that are just bound to this object. So I'm going to start off with making a card. Like a playing card. In my file's name called playing cards. And there's no open and close parentheses. You just say the word class, and notice that the word class is colored, meaning that it is a different value. I'm going to increase my font size so you can see it a little bit better. But so class is a word that Python knows, and card is going to be a new thing that I make up. All right. Whenever we make a card, let's think about a playing card. What kinds of things, attributes, I'm going to say, hopefully you know what that means, what kind of qualities, properties does a card have that differs from one another? Well, right off the top of my head, I think, well, each card has a suit, and each card has a number. Maybe we call that value, rank, something like that. All right, so that's what we need to define first. So we make these functions with definitions, def, and now this next part we use an underscore, but we don't use one underscore, we use two underscores. So you have to hit shift and the key right next to the 0 and hit it twice, and then we type in init, INIT, and then two more underscores. Now, what we're going to describe here are the things that we want to be in this object. Now, the first thing, this is a little confusing at first, but everything in an object refers back to that object. So our first thing that we always type in is self. So that self is going to be, whenever we're going to refer to something inside of an object, we always have to use the word self. And it takes a little bit to get used to, but once you get used to it, it totally will go well. So now that we have suit, or self, then we have a suit and, I don't know, rank, I'm going to say value. Because number doesn't make sense because Jack, King, and Queen aren't numbers, or ace is a 1 or a number, I don't know. So so now we're starting off. Now this next part, we have to say that for the rest of this class, we're going to refer to everything inside of the class as self dot. So self dot suit is going to equal whatever you put in this suit up here. And self.value is going to equal whatever you have the value up there. Now, self itself doesn't actually do anything. We don't have to call that. There's just two things that we have to put in every single time that we make a card. So now if I run this, I'm going to run it down below. And down here, let's make a card. And I'm going to call it 2 clubs, and I'm going to say equals, and then this is called creating an instance of that. So 2 clubs equals card, and let's say clubs, and let's make it an 8. So I'm making both of those a string just because if I did a king, that would be a string. And if I hit enter, now we have this card. And if I wanted to say 2 clubs dot suit, hit enter, and it knows what the suit is. The suit is clubs. And likewise, we can do the same with value, 2 clubs dot value, and that value is 8. So now we have created a class, and we have created where you can designate something of the class, and then you can get the values out. That's a pretty good start.